Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank, and with me today is Ben. Hi.
Yo. I mean, am I Ben? Or am I a robot that looks like Ben, but could not replace my parents' child?
That's why they sent you away. That's why you were exiled.
Maybe, you know what? It's like the inverse. They sent me away because I was a robot that could grow, and they didn't want any of that shit. It's like keeping a dog that's a puppy forever. Yeah.
So this time, presumably, Ben read the correct comic books. We're talking about the first 3 volumes of Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy.
Original Astro Boy, yeah.
Yeah.
I would feel fucking terrible if I read the wrong thing. Like, I would legitimately feel so fucking bad. It wouldn't even be funny. Like, I don't even know what the hell I would do. It has to be the right thing, because if it's not, my existence is going to be fucked up for a day.
So, Ben, what did you think of this origin of Astro Boy?
So, as someone who is well versed in various eras of Astro Boy, equally enjoyable, but it took a little longer to hit, I think. Like, I was thinking about this after I finished, and I think the thing I read from like 2000 whatever, I think that was more enjoyable in the heat of the moment. Like, I enjoyed reading it a little bit more, probably just because modern storytelling.
Yeah, it's a modern comic that has modern pacing.
Yeah, and there's that. I think I enjoyed this one more in like the aftertaste was better. Like, after I was done and kind of reflecting on it, I'm like while reading it, I'm like, okay, like, golly gee, they're shooting missiles at us. Like, holy smokes. But in hindsight, I'm like, you know what? That was really nice. Like, it's just a nice comic. It's not like, I mean, it's serious, like you said. Like, it's kind of dark at a lot of points.
Tobio gets fucked up.
Yeah, dude.
That car crash is fucking brutal.
It's right there. It's fucking, yeah.
It's like,
there is
like, it cuts to from his face to like the car exploding and just his legs are sticking out.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, like, but then like butt machine gun.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it was also very enjoyable. It just I was also a little sleepy while I was finishing it up, but it was good.
This is the very beginning I'm talking about first, but okay, sure.
Well, I mean, like, I read a lot of it at once.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the brutality of Tobio dies, Tenma makes his robot copy, and then immediately is like, fuck this thing.
He's fucking scrubbing him away with the broom. He's like, get out of here. You're not my son.
He's like physically attacking him and then sells him to the circus.
Dude, it's absolutely...
Astro's like, can I wear some clothes? It's like, fucking no. You're a robot.
Clothes, you
clothes. What a dummy.
Man, I love how fucking literally, like, I'm looking at it right now. We go from, and his smile was as pure as that of an angel, to get out of here, you freak.
Yeah. There's something pure about how fast. Try saying Papa. This thing's just a doll.
Yeah. He's like going after him with a... Oh yeah, the panel you showed me, like, I could grow like this.
Yeah.
What if you don't grow and instead I beat you with a shovel? It's absolutely brutal.
pretty good. It's pretty good. And then the first like real story then is the Hot Dog Corps.
Yeah, that's certainly
which is
I have
a wild story.
I have a question, and like right off the bat.
Sure.
I don't actually know the timeline for this product. Would this be a very outright hot dog joke, or does it just happen to translate into that?
I have no idea.
Okay. I mean, I'm like at first I was like, okay, like hot dog, but then I was like, wait, it's old enough. I don't know. Either way, it's good.
It's good. So there's this lady who wants to get diamonds off the moon because her mother was the first person on the moon, found the diamonds, and so she wants a robot army to fight people, but then gets a bright idea from her scientist dude to make a cyborg army to get around the rule of robotics that robots can't hurt people. One of the robot laws.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was pretty clever. I thought that was a pretty nice.
Yeah.
Compared to.
So they make their army of cyborgs that all have dog brains and dog nervous systems that they can murder people. That's a cool idea for a story. Like the hard sci-fi like premises it's like really good. That's very sharp.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was like it's like the inverse of fucking. Have you read Heart of a Dog ever?
I've not.
Oh, they put a man's brain and testicles into a dog. It's a Soviet story. But the guy they chose was a filthy. What's the word for like peasant communist?
I don't know.
Proletariat.
Actually.
I think that's the word I'm looking for, right? Kinda. Like,
a person.
Well,
human being.
But these like rich doctor, whatever scientist people, like they do it, and then he turns into a filthy, lowly communist, and they're like, nah, this isn't what we wanted, and they put it back. So kind of similar feel.
Sure. So yeah, these cyborg dogs, they have like some latent memory of being dogs.
Yeah.
Like the one of the cyborgs, he like just takes the spaceship back to visit his old dude he lived with, who happens to be Astro Boy's teacher at school.
And by visit, you mean just stand there.
Yeah,
just
like
stand
go
there
and then
him.
Just look at him because he doesn't really know why he's there. And then it's eventually, and then like he finds his own fur. I don't know why the scientist like keeps all the old dog furs in a room.
He said he was gonna
in a big pile.
He said he was gonna make a coat.
Yeah, he got a
Cruella
101 Dalmatians there. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's not making the fucking coat. They're just in a room. Like, either make the coat or get rid of the fucking pelts. You sicko.
That's true. He's just sitting on them. Maybe that's his backup plan, is to sell these dog pelts.
Wait for the right price.
And eventually, like, Astro figures out that this guy is a dog, and specifically this dog that he knew.
Yeah. Did they just call him Pero?
Yeah.
What an on point name for.
True. And like, of course, the diamonds are also cursed, and there's an ancient robot guarding the diamonds. And they're all tied to the ancient civilization on the moon that built their whole civilization out of diamonds. And then the reason the moon is full of craters is because they summoned too many asteroids to pelt the moon to make more diamonds.
Dude, old science is cool as shit. Like, even before, like, before you know that they created, like, the gravity thing to pull in the meteors. Like,
yeah.
When they're like, oh no, the moon's gravity, holy fuck, we're going down. Like, I love it. And just like, oh, when meteors hit, they create diamonds. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
so
it's just like old myths.
Yeah.
Except it's like future focused for like a thing that could happen or whatever. Although I guess this is like an explanation for the moon also, so
why does it have so many craters? Well,
it's just like a myth, but he just made it up. And then I don't know, like seeing a dude go, I could be changed back into a dog? You really think so? And Astro's like, sure, because you're really a dog. It's very funny.
It's very good.
And then he becomes a cyborg dog. And like, so he's the best dog.
Yeah, well, he's a cyborg dog, but with the brain and nervous system of a dog. So he's a dog, like 4 times over.
Uh-huh.
It was a
identity.
Yeah, it was a pretty good story. I mean, the one thing, like, I don't think they mentioned it, or if they did, I've forgotten about it. Did they literally like just take his pelt and like put it on the robot?
They're not. There's nothing explicit about that.
I mean, but I'm looking at the picture right now, and like,
2
+ 2 = 4. This is a dark world we find ourselves in.
I mean, it could be a synthetic pelt made to look very similar.
Or they could have just put his carved skin over the robot. Like, one or the other.
Yeah. One or the other. I just don't think that pelt would actually go back the way it was without some additional work.
Look, man, you don't know what kind of future skinning technology they have.
That's true. That's true. They can make cyborg dogs, so anything is possible.
Also, what happened to all the other cyborgs? Like,
most of them died, I think. Like, all those spaceships crashed.
Oh, that's right. A shitload of them, like, they just like exploded into the moon, I guess.
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
Like a bunch of them died fighting the ancient alien eyeball monster that was made of diamonds.
The Diamond Keeper.
Yeah. Cursed. Moon is cursed.
Don't go to them. It's not made of cheese. It's not worth it.
Wallace and Gromit lied to me. I just love the women. There's just a panel where she's just yelling, my mother was the very first person to land on the moon. The moon was all hers, so I've decided never to let anyone else use the moon and that I would become the queen of the moon.
Dude, it's such a good motive, though.
It's just so good, yeah.
It's so pure. Like, it's just absolutely singular in its focus. Great.
What a queen. What a queen. Well, then she gets shown shocking photos of her cyborgs acting like dogs. They keep stealing boots.
Yeah, like, they're not chewing them, though. They're just taking them.
They're just, like, holding them in their mouths.
And that, like, I love how part of the thing, like, oh shit, like, they all got, like, dog internals? It comes from, like, what was it? Astro was just yelling, like, stay or whatever. Or sit.
Yeah.
Or something.
If you just yell stay at them, they just stop.
What? Why am I
inherently?
Why can't I move? Why did I stop?
And Pero uses it against fellow cyborgs later.
Yeah. Dude, I thought we were going to see way more of that. As soon as they figured it out, I thought we were going to be... Especially when especially at the trial or whatever for number 44 for Pero. When he's not talking, I 100% thought teacher was gonna roll in and be like, "Speak." I was a little disappointed that they didn't. It felt like it was right there, but maybe that's why it was too obvious.
Yeah. The Moon Diamond thing is so funny.
It's great.
It's like Die Hard. It's like it's not just about taking over the moon. It's about the money.
Also, dude, the fucking I mean, I don't it's one of those things, like, I'm going to hone in on a little detail, but I had a chuckle when she was like, when they get to the moon and she's like, "I'm going to plant the flag with my family crest." First off, obligatory fuck flags, and second off, what a shitty crest. It's literally just like the default flag pattern on any game involving flags. Like, it's a default emblem. It's just arrows. This land is now ours. Now, great stuff. And that's like, I mean, I just love fucking colonizers. And from this day forth, all the diamonds on the moon belong to my family.
Yep.
Straight.
That's how it works.
I mean, yeah,
You just
dude.
get there and then you say a thing and then
Yeah, you plant your
Must be
flag. You declare something outrageous, and then, like, fuck the people already living there. It's 3 easy steps to getting what you want.
yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen this way of getting around the rule of robotics in other fiction.
Dude, yeah, it's like that's a really cool way of approaching that rule.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoy that. And it does feel like it would be open. I mean, it would be great in a harder setting. It would be cool.
Yeah.
As opposed to I think later, I maybe you recall, I'm pretty sure we like meet a robot. I know obviously Pluto is like, isn't he? No, he doesn't hurt humans. There's some
No.
fuck, maybe it's in the thing
It
I read
was in-
incorrectly.
It was in that movie. It's in the 2009 movie.
Yeah. Well, I know there was like a
old
thing. It might have been in the wrong Astro Boy I read, where it's like, what,
Okay.
robots can't hurt humans, and he's like, no, I was designed to hurt humans. It's fine.
Oh.
But it was like
that's on
weird.
this.
What I saw in this, wasn't there a point where there was like, wait, robots can't hurt people, and the robot is literally just like, I don't care. like there was something. There was like a line. I'll see if we come
I
to
don't
it.
remember.
It was like ends justify a means sort of deal, but yeah.
Oh.
You know what? Maybe it was one of the alien robots. I don't know. Anyway,
next there's the short story, Plant People.
you can't imagine my disappointment. Like,
I knew you would. I knew it wouldn't be what you wanted.
it's such a fucking. I was so.
It's like on paper, like you see Plant People. There's a picture of a flower. Ben he's
we got plant people. There's a little.
wetting his lips.
So does your version, like, this is the original shit, but does your version have the little like forewords by what's his name?
Yeah, where Tezuka shows up.
Okay. Yeah, so he's like, I created my first story about plants as conscious life forms, and I'm like, okay, dude, like this, this is sounded pretty fucking cool. And
Yeah,
he's like,
every one of these stories in these, I'm assuming that's like since like some second printing or something,
yeah,
or some collection just has like an extra couple pages with Tezuka drawing himself talking about the stories.
yeah. It seems like these were released like maybe the 70s or something, and he just did up the thing. It's cool. I
Yeah.
like it. But
Yeah, I really like it as just like instead of like author's commentary, just like an extra page of comics talking about the comic. So it just works in better. It's neat.
Dude, it's really good. I really like that. So yeah, we got aliens coming out and I'd like give us your water, basically.
Yeah, basically robots show up to try and steal our water, and Astro Boy kicks the shit out of them, and then it turns out that they were plant robots at the end.
Well,
then he plants the one good one he plants.
No, remember they it was like the first person shows up and they're like, watch out for this spaceship, and then they get taken away. And then they find out that like the star from their home system or whatever like blew the fuck up, so this person is the last alive. The robots are just like following their mission and they don't recognize that it.
The robots are out there looking for water for their homeworld, but their homeworld is destroyed. It doesn't exist anymore.
So there's the one plant person that's like left.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But what if fucking lackluster, like it's so we go through some bullshit. Astro uses his ass machine gun, and then we get the lamest plant nonsense of all time. Like literally just it's like 3 panels.
Wants to live on Earth.
It's 3 panels.
He's a little flower inside.
And then we don't even get like a cool shot of the flower. Like we get the one thing of the flower, and then it's like
he gets planted in the snow.
We'll forget where it is in the snow, and then someone's like, "It's better that way," and then they leave.
Well, and then they almost stepped on it at the beginning of the story. Was how the story started.
I thought they
found it. No, the story starts with them finding it again, and then the rest of it's a flashback. Like they're about to step on the flower at the beginning, or pick it, and Astro's like, "No, don't do it." And then he's like, "Well, see, I planted this flower, and there's a story about it."
Fuck, I totally missed that somehow.
Yeah.
Right, just by the time you know what, I'm gonna give myself an excuse.
By the end, you were so mad.
I was so fucking angry by the ending that everything. There was nothing else.
But you couldn't remember what happened 10 pages earlier.
I was so upset. I was legitimately like, fuck this story. I just went on. I just started the next thing.
And then we get the story about the robot elections. The robot president.
Yeah. It was okay.
And it turns out his opponent was the person who built him, who looked exactly like him. Because he built the president he was trying to practice, and he built a robot that looked like him, and then the robot ran for president and won instead of him.
So, more than anything,
it's a pretty good idea.
It's a cool thing, but like, I mean, a lot of implications about this universe. First off, like, just put on a pair of robot pants and you can slip by customs. Easy peasy.
Like, those are important robot pants.
I mean, they are. Those
robot pants have amnesty.
Like, it's a cool idea, but
I mean, it's a comic for children.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, it just has some, you know, it's got some teeth. It's got some stuff behind it. It's really how I feel about it. It's like, like, these are simple stories, but like they're good premises. They're strong. There is the part in this where Mustachio gets crucified. It does happen.
Dude, yeah, he is on a cross. Fucking wild. So this is like another, and I mean, kind of I assume like now it's a kind of a staple, but like the whole human versus robot thing, like very I mean, good concept, timeless, really.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Has aged well.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was funny, like how we go from, robots and humans and like sort of equality stuff, and then like as soon as Astro Boy gets to talking to the president's like, "You gotta help me, I can't do it." Like, what? Why were you running then? What was your plan? Like, what? Oh my God!
Look, it's too real, honestly.
Oh.
He ran because all he knew was politics. That's how he was raised.
I guess. Yeah. And it kind of, I mean,
and honestly, I like that, like, Astro Boy is the one who does all the actual shit.
Yeah.
In this story. And I just like the thing of, like, here is a world where we can have a character confront their robot version of themselves in a way that Astro and Tobia will never will, because that kid super died. So we get a different example of, like, a person who made a robot version of themselves and fucking hates it because it like was better than them.
Yeah. Just
I promise to be a good president as they drive away. It's like that. Yep, that's how it works.
Yeah. I had to go back quick. I read the last panel a little quickly. And I 100% read Astro Boy's last thing as, "Let's both do our best as robots, Reg. Goodbye forever." I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't seem correct. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now.
Also, the fact that, like, he just had the real, what the hell is his name? Reg's, like, creator, like the real Slim Shady, just like had the electronic brain like in his fucking hat. Like, where did you hide it? It's in my hat. And it just plops out.
Dead Cross.
Is that like his actual, like, that's all we know him as?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We only know him as Dead Cross. That's a human name, right?
Yeah.
Dead Cross.
I mean, yeah. Look, sometimes the parents choose a name and they end up picking the kid's profession from birth.
Are you saying that because he crucified someone? That's why his name is Dead Cross.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even connect that. God damn it. Fucking terrible. Ugh.
So our next story is The Third Magician.
Yeah. This one was okay.
Yeah.
I think it had my favorite intro from what's his name? Like our forward.
Oh, from
then
Tezuka?
I think there was it this one had some other like fourth wall stuff going on, like it's a comic after all. Some stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know that it kind of
maybe
is sprinkled.
Yeah. I can't remember. I might have remembered if we had done this last time, but like an extra week.
I loved the thing about Astro Boy's hair. Like, that was so in the forward, like
the description of how it always points the same direction.
Look at his hair. He always has two spikes and they never overlap. And Astro Boy's like sweating a little bit. It's another animation trick.
Yep.
Pretty good.
It's pretty like sometimes he's got 4 fingers, and sometimes he's got 5 fingers, and sometimes he's got 4 fingers.
I
And,
literally never
it's
noticed.
just because of how the shape is. Yeah. I mean, it's a classic thing for cartoon characters to only have 4 fingers. Like the Simpsons only have 4 fingers.
Well, yeah, but I never.
But I just like that it's
changed.
Yeah, because like if you're but I mean it kind of makes sense. You're doing a far away shot, and you just don't draw all the fingers, and if you're doing a close up shot of a hand, you might as well if you have the room for the detail. There's no reason not to do it, I guess. I don't know that scene where Astro Boy finds the magician and his skin is off, and he's like they're all the things holding him in place. It's like
all the
good.
tools. It's a good shot. It's a very good. Well, and like it's dark, and then the next panel reveal is like, I can't move, or these tools will dismantle me. Like pretty fucked up.
Oh, I found pretty good when like after the paintings are stolen, the like detective guy or whatever who's working on the case just like slams his face into the wall and then shoots it and then plays the saxophone.
Yeah, the fucking saxophone bit. Dude, like ridiculous.
Look, man, you just gotta hold young children's attention and give a brief bit of levity during your heist.
I mean, slamming into it, sure. Like the saxophone.
That's pretty good.
It was another thing where I'm like, I had to go back. I just want to make sure.
And that's why Tezuka's the god of manga. That saxophone panel.
It's very good.
Man. And I like the thing of like the one Kino like gives up everything so that then the other Kino can live on in his place, and he dies, and the story's just like, yep, and that's great.
Yeah.
Like just glosses over it, that which I kind of love is in like a thing for kids. It's like, yeah, everything's great, but then you like if you have a brain and you can like think about it, you're like, that was fucked up. I'm about it, honestly. But Astro's pretty stoked at the end, so
he's fucking skipping like he is.
Yeah.
I mean, this story was fine. I think like the stuff with the house, like that scene of him like without his skin and shit. Like it had some cool bits. I mean, obviously saxophone, as you said, but I think of the 3 big arcs so far.
Sure.
It's like
this one really felt like this was just a story that Astro Boy happened to be in.
Yeah.
Like he just happened to be here, and like it happened to be about a robot.
Yeah.
Like some robots.
Maybe that's
like,
why.
It wasn't like, I don't know. It felt like you could have told this story and it just not be an Astro Boy story at all.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. I guess just like we didn't have any huge issues. Mm-hmm. Like the issue we had was robots can be magicians.
Yeah. Which honestly, a lot of these stories honestly are kind of like that. Like you kind of could just take Astro Boy out.
Yeah.
Because they're just hard sci-fi. It's just like he's just a vehicle for telling these hard sci-fi stories.
Yeah.
For kids. But he's like the hook, like the thing to bring kids in or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like he's the Superman for these sci-fi stories or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I also really like I got more I got more of it in the 2000 version, but I do like that we get some of like Superman like shots. Like I think it was in the it was in the election story. There's like Astro Boy's like he's going to turn off some machine or something, and that little doctor is like shooting the fuck out of him, and he's just like walking. It's so good. It was such a good sequence. And then he like runs out of ammo, so he throws the gun at him. Really good.
Yeah. Which is fun. Then we get the short story White Planet, which I find it hilarious.
It's
this kid, the fact that it's like this kid is so obsessed with rocket cars, and then his sister turns out to be his rocket car spare brain, and then he's like, oh great, now my rocket car's back.
Yeah,
that's great.
I mean, I don't really like. This story basically led off with him slapping the Christ out of his sister and calling her a stupid idiot.
Yep, that's what happened.
Don't you have any idea how much I love this car, Mitsuko? I mean, you just beat the shit out of your sister.
And then she got to be his car that he loved so much, so finally she was loved too.
Off screen, she gets revenge for him being abusive towards her and crashes the car into a fiery end.
I don't know. It's so fucked.
There's one more panel, like
it's like so absolute fucked that I can't help but love it.
Like, look at that last panel. Look at that last panel of him standing on the car, like hand out, like absolutely victorious. There's one more panel where the whole thing just runs into a wall. And revenge is had.
No. We love robotics. She loves him.
Yeah.
She just wants to be a car for him. That's what she was built to do. It's very sad. her existence is very sad.
It's not... yeah. Also, like... I'm just, like... It's obviously, it's not going to be addressed, but just, like, the implications of, like... It's your sister. My sister? I know you think of her as your sister, but she's a robot. What? Like...
She's a backup, and she's specifically a backup brain for your car.
Yeah.
Like, not only were you told that she was your sister, she actually exists for this specific purpose for your racing career. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's... She secretly told us and said she wanted to become part of White Planet. Well, yeah, that's her fucking prerogative. Like...
Yeah.
Ugh. I mean, I do love a good racing story, though.
Fair enough. And now we get to what I really consider the main course, which is the greatest robot on Earth.
The thing that I actually read.
The thing that you did actually read, yes. The story of Pluto murdering just most of the other greatest robots on Earth.
Everything. Just not letting a single thing stand in his way.
It's so good. I think this is easily the best Astro Boy story that we read. Like, easily.
Oh yeah. I think I like the concept of the cyborg thing, like getting around the rule and everything, but this is like overall this is definitely the best execution.
Like, this is Astro Boy running on all cylinders, and it feels like an Astro Boy story.
And it's just Mega Man.
Even though it's like as much about Pluto as it is about.
Yeah. Dude.
Even more than it's about Astro Boy.
The very first I like the very first I can't remember where's his name? Mont Blanc?
Yeah. Yeah,
the mountain guide robot. He gets fucking destroyed like so early. Such an early kickoff. Like fucking horns come out. He gets roasted to death, and then he's just a pile of parts.
Yeah, man.
Like such a strong start.
It's such a modern comics, you got to draw that shit out. You got to like promote these characters. You got to you got to sell them harder. And here it's just like, yeah, here's Mont Blanc. Yep. 1 page later, dead. But it's there. It's sort of that thing that then like sticks in someone's brain and then like lives there for years.
Yeah. So cool.
And just like that, like that whole thing, it's like, oh, suddenly there are this many greatest robots in the world, and also now they're all going to be killed. It's like not only just like introducing these things that were never established before, but also like tearing them all down.
Mm-hmm.
All to kind of at the end make Astro Boy the coolest. Like ultimately, really.
So it also seemed, I mean, they definitely went, I think it had been mentioned like maybe once or twice in the other stories, but here they definitely ramped up like the power level stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
horsepower, more horsepower.
This is the Dragon Ball Z of Astro Boy.
I need more ponies, Professor.
This is where shonen manga tropes were born.
Where
power levels come from.
I had to fucking look up. I had to know, like, roughly, like what does, like how much is like 1,000,000 horsepower? Like, what are we or like compare this? I feel like in another comic they compared it to like a rocket or something. I don't know. For some reason, I was like, how much horsepower does like a rocket have? Because obviously, like 1,000,000 fucking horsepower, like it's not gonna be the new Mustang. But I checked.
More powerful than a locomotive.
For context, the space shuttle had like the average space shuttle had like 37 million horsepower. So we're looking at 1/37th of that power, roughly.
Yeah. Look, the important thing is that can leap a tall building in a single bound. More powerful than a locomotive. I mean, he's just Superman.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's the important thing. I like, in theory, Astra's sister going out to fight Pluto on her own. The execution is very 1950s, I would say.
Yeah. Not,
but so it goes.
Not great. Yeah. I feel like,
oh man,
I'm trying to remember now. Now the modern version I read is like out of my head.
Sure.
I think she comes up, and it's a little, it's better, you know, as you would hope.
Sure.
She does. She has more agency.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's not even introduced in this like Astro's family and her are not even introduced in this comics, because I think they're original to the show, and then they just got worked back in backwards.
That's why I had to check and make like double check again that I was reading the right thing in volume 2, because it starts off and it's like he has like a brother and sister and like his parents or whatever, and I'm like,
man,
please God, tell me I didn't like read.
Well, that's
what did I miss?
So again, last time this was one of the things why I expected you to be a little confused.
Yeah.
Upon investigation, you were more confused than I expected, even because. But yeah, like I was reading this and I didn't remember that. Like I was like, oh, they just never introduced those characters in the comic, I guess, huh?
Yeah. No, his in the newer thing, his sister is like properly introduced. It's still pretty like they definitely did a good job of keeping like the kind of lighthearted feel like to this horrible fucking backdrop, but they were like, Astro Boy, you should have a sister, and then like 3 panels later it's like, here's your sister. Oh boy, a sister. But yeah. And they definitely, it was kind of cool to see, as I mentioned in my fuck up episode, like they kept the thing that we get in this version with Pluto kind of caring a bit for, I don't know how to pronounce her name anymore. Euron.
I have no idea.
Astro's sister.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't listened to anything that said her name.
So that was cool. Like, and I think that works well here too. Like that bit of, he's not...
like in the beginning, Tezuka's like, I kind of couldn't help myself but make Pluto a little tragic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, and we get to that. It's jumping around here, but where he's like, yeah, I don't have any beef with you. I was meant to fight robots. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's just my job.
I gotta be the strongest. I'm a shonen manga hero. Gotta be the strongest. I'm Goku.
It's so good. Also,
it's all about love of fighting.
The fucking like straight up like I love that his creator is literally, or not his creator, his benefactor, I guess, the dude who like commissioned him to be built, literally just has like the portraits on the wall of all the robots. He's just like sharpieing them out. All those portraits. And this was like, I really like the pacing of things as well.
Yeah.
Like just how I don't know, the time between fights and like what's going on and shit. Like it feels good. And also, as we've discussed it a little bit, maybe off episodes as well, like I haven't done that much shonen manga. Like, but I have just enough like absorbed.
You're familiar
knowledge.
with Naruto?
Like, I mean, I guess like I did read Shaman King and a few others, but not a ton. But I still like it's cool to be able to recognize like those staples of plot and story and stuff for like well even like watching fucking Kill la Kill, right? Like going through that again. And it's like,
totally.
Yo, this is like, it's the tournament arc shit. Like it's it's just cool like recognizing that, because I've never
and this has the benefit of all these fights aren't like 10 episodes each.
Dude, yeah.
This is like an epic story, but it's because it's the pacing of these comics that's like it blows through it. Like it's not that long. But there's like a lot there. Again, the Pluto, which is an adaptation of just this story, is like 8 volumes.
Yeah.
And it's just a retelling of this one Astro Boy story.
Which I'm fine with. It's a good.
So now that we've talked about this, I want to set up Pluto, because Pluto is the premise is, instead of like the main character being Astro Boy or even Pluto, it's the German robot Gernhard who's investigating Pluto. Like he's trying to arrest this robot that's been going around creating murders.
Yeah.
So the premise of Pluto is it's a noir detective story retelling this Astro Boy story.
Okay. I had to go back.
So it's like tonally like much more adult and somber or whatever. It has a whole different feel to it, but it's still like this story.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
it's pretty fucking. It's like my favorite thing.
I'm stoked. Like I'm fucking pumped, because this was great.
Yeah.
Also, I couldn't place, like, I know this was like influential, obviously, and even when I was reading it and looking at stuff, I'm like, did Mega Man like just straight rip these robot designs? Um, the the robot that we get at the end, like the new final boss with 2 million horsepower.
It's just the Yellow Devil.
Is that like, what do I recognize him from? Yellow Devil? Is that
No, the Yellow Devil is more like the monster on the moon, honestly.
okay. I recognize this guy.
There's a the closest thing I can think of is what's it?
It looks so, it's something. It's fucking something. Cuz I was like definitely thinking that it wasn't something else. Maybe like a mummy? It looks like it could have a like loosely there could be a mummy character.
I don't know. The thing I'm thinking of is from Marvel Comics, and it's probably not what you're thinking of.
What
honestly.
are you thinking of? Oh, you don't know the name?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
blanking on his
okay.
name. I think it's Incredible Andy.
I was okay. Yeah, no, that's, you don't have
Just
to
like
go
the-
super deep into it.
Awesome Android. That's what he's called. So he's also known as Awesome Andy.
Awesome Andy. Let's see. Awesome Andy. I feel like that's not it, but we'll see. Yeah, this is not that's not the one. It's frustrating. I mean, maybe I know it from this and I've seen like it was in something or somewhere. Could always be. Yeah, it's not that guy. Oh well.
Yeah, no. That's what it reminds me of, but I as I was thinking of it, I was like, that's probably not what Ben's thinking of.
Yeah. Oh well.
The Awesome Android. Captain America found him in a barn, and then he realized, oh, he's just hanging out in this barn. Kid, don't go in that barn. There's a robot in there. And then he left. Because of, that's continuity, baby.
So
There were two more stories, but I don't remember. There's Robot Land, and there's the Mad Machine, and then there's...
I'll be real with you. I skimmed the fuck out of the things after Pluto, or the thing after Pluto.
I mean, the last one's hilarious because it's like a dude started like a robot island where he was enslaving all of them, and then at the end they're all freed, and they are like definitely gonna murder the shit out of him, and then it cuts to like Astro going, "Gosh, that turned out well." It's like this dude is left to a mob of robots that he had enslaved. The last page is very funny that way.
Like this is Mad Machine or whatever.
No, that's Robot Land.
Where the hell is Robot Land?
Oh, Robot Land, I guess. Oh, okay. I Robot Land might not have even been in what you read. Weird. It looks like that was in volume. That wasn't in volume 3 alone, but it is in this omnibus volume 1, which is what I read.
Yeah.
That collects the first 3. Supposedly, I thought it was the first 3 volumes, but it has one more story than I guess volume 3 did.
Interesting.
So super don't pay attention to that one. Yeah, I guess he didn't read that. So oh well.
Yeah, I'm looking at this.
I don't remember the Mad Machine at all.
It's a robot with a gun for a head, so.
Hell yeah. Oh right. Mr. Colt.
Yeah, Mr. Colt. Just super on the fucking nose. I'm looking at the story list, and it looks like, yeah, it's listing Robot Land as part of Volume 4.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Weird. I hate that. I hate that stuff. When they when collected volumes, bigger collected volumes don't line up properly with the smaller ones.
I mean, I'm mostly upset that they had 3 stories, 3 stories, 2 stories, 4 stories, 3 stories.
4 stories?
There could have been 3 stories for 5 volumes. Fucking people.
Well, that's why the Omnibus put that one in Omnibus Volume 1. Even though Volume 6 is like a bunch of other shit or whatever. Shorter, even shorter stories. Like The Angel of Vietnam. It's apparently an Astro Boy story.
Good lord. Oh yeah, dude, that reminds me, that shot that was taken in one of the forewords, where he's like, you know, I had trouble getting this into America because of all the violence, and it's just like this silly scene. But Americans have no problem going to Southeast Asia and doing violent things there. I'm like, God damn. That is coming in hot. I mean, I agree, of course. But like, didn't expect to read it. Yeah, no, Pluto was very good. Or well, it's the Pluto,
the greatest
story.
Robot on Earth.
Yeah.
Greatest robot in the world? I don't know.
I think greatest robot on Earth. Greatest robot on Earth, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wikipedia says in the world.
Was it Gamera that had like 3 different names? One of the titles?
Oh, I mean, all those Godzilla movies all have a bunch too.
Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah, I also watched like a third of the Astro Boy movie. It was decent.
Yeah.
I'll finish it. I definitely I had to, for some reason, at first I could not place who Tenma was voiced by.
You mean Nicolas Cage?
For some reason when I heard his voice, I was literally like, did they fucking,
it's so funny.
Did they like tap Matthew McConaughey for this? That doesn't seem right. And I looked it up and it's Nick Cage. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that, you know what? That makes far more sense.
Uh-huh.
It's really good.
Look, you ask Nick Cage to be in an Astro Boy movie, Nick Cage is gonna say, "Fuck yeah."
I mean, you ask Nick Cage to be in any film at all that you could think of.
It depends on how broke he is at the moment, how much money he needs at that particular time.
True.
Look. There are times when Nick Cage says yes to being in a Left Behind movie, and there are times when he would not have to do that.
God. Just the amount of shit is so good.
No, I think that Astro Boy movie is fine. It was a total flop. So I feel like I am like the biggest fan of that movie in the world. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't. Did it flop because like it didn't appeal to fans or to people who had no attachment? Like, was it too middling?
I can't, like, for how hard it flopped, I kind of can't explain it. I think there just wasn't an audience craving an Astro Boy movie, and then critics killed it. I don't fucking know. I can't explain how an animated movie flops that hard. But, like, the studio went out of business that made that movie.
Oh, fuck.
So I think it's also like just not having the backing of, like, it wasn't a Disney movie or whatever.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if there's like just a thing Yeah, I don't know. Don't.
Yeah, I mean, critics like super panned it also.
The film's confused tonal mixture of darkness and commercially motivated optimism. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, that's kind of Astro Boy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that just sounds like it's a decent adaptation.
Yeah. Like, honestly, it did feel kind of like the Hollywoody sellout parts of it are like, there's a blue orb and a red orb, and one is good and one is evil.
Yeah,
and if they touch, they'll explode. It's like,
really,
okay, yeah,
dumb. I mean, like, it's whatever, but like, you didn't need it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was just whatever.
Like, this is the only context in which Hollywood could understand a kids movie.
Yeah.
The robot can't just be built good. It has to have, like, Sonic can't just be fast. His rings have to have a special teleporting power. And Dr. Robotnik has to steal Sonic's power. It's like honestly the same shit that they did with some of the plot stuff in the Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. Like, making the character more important. Like, they have the true power within themselves.
Man, what a...
Also, like, Tenma turns around on Astro, like, too easily in that movie for my taste. Like, he's like calling him son by the end. I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I know he like comes around to helping Astro and other stuff, but like, this was like way too easy.
Yeah, dude, this is I caught the tail end of someone else's review that was quoted on Wiki. Fucking Roger Ebert, apparently.
Roger Ebert, yeah.
Ebert, yeah. And like half of this I think is reasonable, and half I'm very surprised by. Astro Boy is better than most of its recent competitors, such as Monsters vs. Aliens and Kung Fu Panda. I understand Monsters vs. Aliens, but isn't saying Astro Boy movie is better than Kung Fu Panda? Like, that seems like a very hot take. Like,
I mean, not if he didn't like Kung Fu Panda.
I guess. Why didn't he like Kung Fu Panda? Does he hate pandas?
I mean, now you have to look at his Kung Fu Panda review.
I gotta go look at his fucking review for Kung Fu Panda, I guess. Roger Ebert. Kung Fu... Oh, he also reviewed Kung Fu Hustle.
He gave it 3 stars.
Okay, but how is Astro Boy better than Kung Fu Panda? What is this? What is this bullshit? Where's the clickbait? Kung Fu Panda is not one of the great recent animated films. Fucking what is then? Tell me, Roger. I want to know.
Not a Miyazaki movie.
I guess, yeah. Oh, great movies.
Like I know Roger Ebert loved Spirited Away, but that's like 7 years earlier. I don't remember what great recent movies were out around 2008.
Well, I'm about to find out.
I'm going to give us a rank. Every Roger
No,
Ebert
he has a website with like a super easy. I mean, I don't know like about this dude, but
RogerEbert.com is a very... You don't know who Roger Ebert is? Like, actually, that wasn't a bit.
Why the fuck would I know who some asshole is?
He's like... I mean, I guess it's like a little old for your time, but he's like...
For my time.
He was like the most well-known film critic.
Oh, he's dead?
Until he died. Yeah. He died of cancer.
Yeah, I have no idea who this person is at all.
Yeah, he was... Siskel and Ebert was like a big review. It was like movie reviews, and it was a television show, Ben. They were on TV, and they gave it thumbs up and thumbs down to things. So 2 thumbs up meant they both liked it, so that was a big deal.
So is that where the phrase two
thumbs up review? Yes, the 2 thumbs up comes from Siskel and Ebert.
Okay, so
and it meant that they both liked it, and
that
Siskel Very persnickety.
That would have. So
He's
if I
also
would have
dead.
known who he was, like that probably
Yeah.
would have been how I found it. Like looking up that origin for that phrase. I just like I've never ever been into any film critic anything. So
Ebert also, you know, more famously on internet circles you may have been in, is a guy who said video games aren't art. Which is more what he gets brought up for. But, like, in his defense, he is like a person who had to formulate arguments for why movies were art. So I feel like it's not like it didn't, when he said that, it didn't mean the thing that like people on the internet who wanted to yell at him about it like thought it meant to him.
yeah.
Because again, like he's earlier in his career was a time in which you had to argue for movies being art, and like you had to formulate the argument, which came about through like the director's vision or whatever,
So
auteur theory and stuff.
so it was less that video games weren't art, and it was more that like they just hadn't proved themselves as art yet.
No, it's just like a different definition. It's a different understanding of like what is art.
Gotcha.
Art being like a singular vision, which, you know, movies arguably aren't. Like, a lot of people work on a movie, so to say that they're like a singular thing is kind of bullshit. Also, in the video games, it's the same way. Like, so many people work on it that to give all the credit to one person is kind of a lie. But, you know, there are certain movies you can make that argument with. There are certain games that, like, you know, you ascribe an auteur to that work, but it's also that probably that might not be the right person even, you know.
Yeah.
It's a different whole different thing, but people didn't engage with it in that way. Also, it's dumb, and it's like
Yeah, that was whatever.
about like, you know, it's not about the level at which you review a movie. It's about like writing critical thought pieces or whatever, you know, intellectual community or whatever.
So
Stupid.
I mean, the movie that
But
he was,
Roger Ebert as a movie critic was my favorite movie critic. And part of it like was just I liked his taste in certain things, but also I read him enough that I had a good sense of when he was like, oh, he was just in a weird mood that day. That's why he had felt these particular ways about this movie or whatever. Like, he was also a critic that he would review a movie based on how he felt. So, you know, if he was in a weird mood for like a week, all his reviews from that week would be, you could kind of tell.
so I've been like doing a cursory glance of his site. First off,
Yeah.
the movie that caught his attention of that time, it seemed like, was Ratatouille at 4 stars.
Gotcha.
So that I mean that makes sense. Yeah. But then I noticed he did a review for 2007 Beowulf, and I'm gonna have to read this afterward. This is great.
Yeah. His reviews definitely have
So
the thing
good.
of like the most interesting parts to read are like always the first and last paragraphs, because like a lot of it's like that old newspaper style of review where like the bulk of the middle is just plot summary. And also because he like reviewed a shit ton of movies.
I just love this. I'll read one line. Truth in criticism. I am not sure Angelina Jolie was nude. Oh, her character was nude all right, except for the shimmering gold plating that obscured certain crucial areas. But was she Angelina Jolie? I'm like, okay, I'm in. You got me. Oh, what a dumb movie.
Yeah, he also like one of the things that always sold me on him is he didn't star movies like on an absolute way. He starred them based on like relative to other movies of their kind. So like a good action movie would get four stars out of 4, even if it's like, he didn't actually think of it as one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like, it's the one of the best, like, like the difference between what is great for what it's trying to do or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he, like, later in his life, he had, I think it was throat cancer. He completely lost the ability to speak after a bad operation.
Mm-hmm.
So his writing became like his only outlet, and that's when I was like really reading him all the time. Like I was reading all his reviews basically at that time, and he wrote 2 non-review pieces on his blog that are 2 of my favorite pieces of writing of all time. Which is like, at this point, his mouth is all fucked up and he can't like even eat food.
Yeah.
And he wrote an article about eating and what he missed about it, and like eating, like he missed eating in public, and he called himself a solo performer. And he wrote an article about making out and like missing being able to make out.
I mean, yeah.
And those are 2 great pieces of writing.
Nice.
So there's my talking about Roger Ebert.
I might have to go. I mean, I'm like, this is probably gonna end up doing a deep dive on this fucking website. Just because there's so, like, as usual, like, I watch as most people, I watch a fraction of the shit that comes out. So I'm like looking at this stuff. I'm like, ooh, this looks interesting.
Yeah, and like I remember like one of like the big points in his career, or like early in his career, was like arguing for Bonnie and Clyde being a great movie when like other critics were blasting it for being too violent or whatever. Like a lot of the main movie critics at the time were like, "This is garbage. They get shot a whole bunch," and he's like, "This is fucking great."
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Roger Ebert is considered like, the movie critic of record. The other critic is also from around that same time, but I think she stopped or died or stopped writing earlier, is Pauline Kael. Her stuff's also really good.
Nice.
And also Roger Ebert had a TV show, so there is video footage of him talking about movies.
Hell yeah.
It exists.
I mean, really,
what I'm lost the ability to speak.
What I'm gonna do is hope and pray that he has put some of the films that Anya chooses to watch on blast, so I can then quote those things to her when I argue for not watching that film.
Sure.
Look,
I don't know that you're gonna get. I don't think he's gonna be reviewing any of the Netflix romantic comedies. They've come out.
He's not reviewing
yesterday.
No, what the hell? Leap Year. When did Leap Year come out? Leap Year film, please. 2010. Oh, I gotta know. If you put fucking Leap Year on blast.
You give it 3 stars.
3 stars. I no longer respect his opinion. I mean, that's like, okay, yeah, no, it makes sense, but at the same time, my world is crumbling around me.
Bottom line, this is a full-bore PG-rated sweet rom-com. It sticks to the tracks, makes all the scheduled stops, and bears us triumphantly to the station.
Ugh. I mean, yeah. Look, the best thing about that film is that the main actor in it, or the male lead, I should say, only accepted the role because it was filming like 10 minutes from his house. So he's like, yeah, sure, I'll put food on the table, I guess.
That's funny.
Thought it was terrible. He actually hates the film, but that easy paycheck too tempting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, like this. Also, this website is now. It's run by Roger Ebert's wife.
Okay. I noticed.
So they still do. They did like they're still recent movie reviews, but
I noticed they had like
other
people.
Those are all done by other their writers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is like, no joke. This website is very good. Like it's very clean and works well. I don't encounter those a lot, so that's dope. It's just so easy to find shit.
I
like it.
That's true. Fair enough. Well, I'm looking forward to digging into Pluto in the future.
Ooh, same, yeah.
So we'll probably split that one up just because it's 8 volumes. So we'll do half and half at some point. But also, I want to do like a movie episode again. So
yeah,
maybe do that first.
Yeah, I'm down for anything.
We'll figure it out. Off air. Anyway, that has been a podcast. SaltCirclePodcast@gmail.com. Find us at Salt Circle Pod on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
I'm not.
Podcast sources. You know what it is. Peace.